It's August 12th, 2024. It's my pleasure and honor to be with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, World War II veteran, and we're reading his book, Their Mother's Sons, and we're on track.
I got a telegram from the War Department that I got wounded to give that my mother.
Yeah, I remember that telegram that you received when you got wounded, and then to pick up on that, they sent you over to Paris, and you were in Paris for a month or so recuperating.
Yeah.
And then you had the privilege of using a phone in north of Paris.
Who?
You were able to call your mother from the hospital.
Yeah.
Do you remember how that conversation went?
Oh, no. She says, what are you doing there? He's got a lot of work here for you to do.
Exactly. She's always trying to put you to work. Well, once again, it's August 12th, 2024. I'm with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, World War II veteran, and we're reading his book, Their Mother's Sons. Their Mother's Sons.
What's the book you read?
Their Mother's Sons. Their Mother's Sons. There, hold it up. The front page of your mother, Mr. Jeckovich. Their Mother's Sons.
Now, who wrote this?
Hold it up. No, the other side.
This?
Yeah, hold it up. Okay. I hold this for a minute so people can see the cover. Okay, lay it back down. That's fine. Here, give it to me. Give it to me. Let me see. Okay.
Who wrote all that?
We were just verifying you're in Company H, 2nd Battalion, 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry of the U.S. Army during World War II. Is that correct?
That's.
Okay, good. So, we're sitting here with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, reading his book, Their Mother's Sons, and we're on chapter 14, and it's called Catacombs and Revoir. And this is the part of the book where Mr. Jeckovich left a hospital in Paris with a couple wounds in his shoulder and his shrapnel in his legs, and now he's 30 miles north of Paris, and he's in a rest rehabilitation center for a couple weeks before he gets sent to the front lines. And during this time in Paris, he met a really nice lady named Renee. He's been seeing her nightly. So now that he's a little bit further north of Paris, every day he has to take a bus to the train station, from the train station to Paris, and a taxi cab to Renee's house. So there's where we are at the book, and we're primarily, the war that Mr. Jeckovich was in was the Battle of Bulge. The Battle of Bulge. This is where Mr. Jeckovich got a Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars. The Battle of Bulge went from December 16, 1944 to January 15, 1945. This was a last-ditch effort by Hitler to get his ground and start to take back Germany and Paris and Europe, but it didn't work. American forces had 80,000 and German forces 200 casualties. Allied 80,000, including prisoners. German 70 to 100,000, including prisoners and casualties. Location Ardennes, Belgium Theater, Western Front. And it's all based on launching a surprise attack from the Ardennes. Germany kept forces, made good gains, but their biggest problems that Germany had was they ran out of fuel.
Yeah.
They ran out of supplies.
Yeah.
They ran out of fuel, and they ran out of supplies. So here we are, World War II vet. There were 16,400,000 young ladies and men in the service of some type during World War II. Now we're down to about 100,000, but actually we're down to about 7,000 or 8,000 of actual combat soldiers of actual combat soldiers during World War II. Everyone else is gone. And we're losing them at a rate of about 135 a day. And most of them are in their upper 90s, early hundreds. So I'll give you my text number. If you'd like to text Mr. Jeckovich a question, feel free to, and I'll make sure Mr. Jeckovich reads it personally. Oh, by the way, his eyes are beautiful, never needed glasses. He can read the newspaper up top to bottom. He can read the smallest fine print in a legal letter. The only thing they gave out was his knees, and that's because he jogged for 80 years. So text us any questions, and Mr. Jeckovich will read them, and Mr. Jeckovich will answer them. Mr. Jeckovich will read them, and Mr. Jeckovich will answer them. So the text number is 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. And if you're from South Carolina, we call it 407-366-double-lot. South Carolina, 407-366-double-lot. Okay. What's the passcode, Mr. Jeckovich?
20965.
That dog tag number's been with you a long time. That dog tag number's been with you a long, long time. You're looking chipper today. How you feeling?
Good, good.
The other day you said, even though you're knocking on the door of 100, you feel like you're 40. Do you feel like you're 40 today?
40, yeah.
That's damn good, damn good. You shaved off 60 years instantly. I'm going to start reading your book, or do you want to read it?
No, go ahead, you read it.
I have a couple text messages. Would you want to answer them now, or you want me to ask for a later date?
No, go ahead, answer the question.
Okay, some of the text messages, every day it's about longevity, but we covered that many, many times. We might talk again in a few days, but right now I think we've covered the details of longevity. Mr. Jeckovich's longevity. Basically, never smoked and never drank, exercised, jogged for 80 years, and never took a prescription pill. So there we are. He's in excellent health now. His knees gave out because of jogging, but he's here. He's a walking, talking miracle. Here we go. One of the questions pertain to, of all the basic training camps you have, went to San Antonio, Evansville, Indiana, Breckenridge, in Wales, and others. What basic training camp did you like the best?
Wales.
Wales?
Yeah.
And that was in Haverford West.
Yeah.
Why did you think that you liked that the best?
Well, it was different, and they were more into the thing what they were doing. The other place they was just opened up and go to the PX and sit around.
I see. So in Haverford West, in Wales, you like that basic training base the best.
Now that wasn't basic training. Basic training was in Breckenridge.
But it was still a training camp.
Huh?
Maybe we should title it basic training, but it was still a training camp, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a training camp.
What was it exactly?
It was a stopping spot for
But
us.
there was still a base that you went to, one of the bases you went to before you were on active duty, correct? Before you were active duty, you were in Breckenridge, you were in Wales,
Yeah.
Haverford West. And let me just comes back to me now. At Haverford West, you met a fine lady that was your girlfriend named Jean. Actually, her full name is Jean Rowland Young. Jean Rowland Young. And she lived in Haverford West.
Yeah.
And you've seen her on many, many, many occasions. Many, many occasions. It was a small town. It was a very nice looking town. And interesting enough, of all your girlfriends you had during the wartime in the United States, Wales, and Paris, She's the only one we couldn't locate. We located all the rest. And in fact, we went a little bit further to locate Jean Rowan Young. We had the Daily Mail in London, which is about 900,000 to 1 million circulation. They wrote a full-page story about you. We came up with a couple good leads, but nothing. But we know quite well about your girlfriend, Ann McKinney in Owensboro, Kentucky. In fact, we talked to her several years ago. And then also, we know about Renee in Paris. So that was very interesting. That was very interesting. Another question came up. We were reading several times during the last week that you were skilled in many areas of woodworking. You had a laundromat, you had a wallpapering business, you had a snow plowing business, and you could basically do anything with woodwork. And also you worked at Kimberly-Clark for 35 years. The question came up, which one of those positions did you like the best?
The one that I was on my own.
Which one was that?
That was doing odd jobs. I was doing
Wallpaper,
wallpaper. Yeah.
building decks,
Yeah.
everything under the sun. You were very talented with electrical and woodwork. Were you trained by your father?
No.
Were you trained?
I was trained by myself.
I thought you went
I went to Trot for electrical stuff,
Yeah, I
but
thought you
that didn't give me anything.
but you graduated from Trot Vocational School.
Yeah.
Trot Vocational
Yeah,
School.
which was a
But
mistake.
didn't your Uncle Andy, which was a fine craftsman, teach you many tricks of the trade?
The what?
Didn't your Uncle Andy, he was a fine
Third grade
craftsman.
education.
He taught you many tricks of the trade, didn't he? Your Uncle Andy?
Taught me what?
I thought Uncle Andy was a good craftsman. He could do just about anything.
Oh yeah, third
I thought
grade
you learned
education.
from
Yeah.
him.
Huh?
I thought you learned from him.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't see him that much.
Okay.
My
But you-
mother and him were always fighting.
Uh-huh. They were always fighting. I'll be. How about your Uncle Johnny? Did he teach you the basics?
Well, he was kind of neutral, negative, yeah. He worked at Kimberly-Clark too, and the other mill.
What did he do?
The maintenance.
He did maintenance. You know, you were before your time with a SUV they nicknamed the Green Monster, and that was in the early 60s, I was told. And that was a big SUV International. Now, on every corner today, 2024, that's all you see is SUVs. When you were driving this SUV, there was probably one in the whole state.
Yeah.
What made you get an SUV while they weren't, they were very difficult to find?
Well, I read about it, and I had seen them in action, and I liked them.
I see. And then after that, which everyone knows, crew cabs are 4 doors. Today, they're everywhere.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time you blink, there's a 4-door. But during your time in the 60s, you had special ordered an international 4-door truck crew cab, which you would never, ever see.
Yeah, that was ordered in Buffalo, yeah.
What made you decide to get that?
Well, I thought I needed something but more than a 2-door.
And you did.
Yeah, 4-door,
And
yeah.
didn't you end up making a lot of money with it, snow plowing?
Snow plowing, and I did moving with it. I did a lot of work, a lot of lumber with that, carried a lot of lumber.
Not only that, weren't you asked by Kimberly-Clark to haul people around during blizzards?
The what?
Weren't you asked by Kimberly-Clark during snow blizzard to haul people to work?
Yeah, it was, well, the shift changes, yeah.
And that was a big job. Did the 4-wheel drive make it all right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you service your 4-wheel drive yourself, or did someone?
No, I went back to Buffalo.
You did everything there. Did your wife drive the 4-wheel drive?
No,
Did your wife drive the SUV?
no.
She didn't drive your international
No.
SUV?
She drove She drove with the green one we had.
Okay. Omega.
Oh yeah, Omega, yeah.
Okay. All right. Did your mother and father drive?
No.
14 minutes.
So your wife was the only one that actually, there was a female that drove in the family.
Yeah.
No one else
Well
drove.
then, when I got married, my wife, my mother took advantage of my wife and used her for everything then.
Oh, so your mother used your wife, by the way, married 69 years. So your mother used your wife to be a taxi cab service.
Oh yeah.
So wherever she needed to go,
She went, yeah.
She went.
And Delphine was willing.
she went. I'll be. And who did all the shopping? Did you do the grocery shopping?
No, Delphine.
And
Delphine and Delphine and my mother.
And so back then, it wasn't customary for a man to go in supermarkets and shop. Is that correct? Men would do the shopping for groceries back then, is that correct?
Well, I see them, when I went to the grocery stores, I see them in there shopping.
I mean, recently they do, but back in your day, in the 60s,
No, they wouldn't, no.
they went in there. They went in there. In the 60s, when you had these big monster trucks and SUVs, what was the price of the gallon of gas?
$1.28.
So it was really low.
Yeah.
Wow. What finally happened to your SUV?
What happened to it?
Yeah, the green SUV.
We were supposed to bring it down here, and then my son sold it.
Was that with your permission?
Yeah.
Okay. So you wanted him to sell it?
No.
Okay.
And then he never gave me the money or nothing.
You're kidding?
No.
Okay.
I don't know why he did it.
Oh boy. Another question that came in on the text. Did you have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I had two brothers and one sister, yeah.
And what did your two brothers do for a living?
Well, Lucky was rolling around too much. He was drinking a lot. And the other one's in school most of the time.
And what did your sister do for a living?
What the hell did she do? Oh, she worked in a bank.
Okay. So she was like a bank teller?
Yeah, bank teller or something, yeah.
Okay. And what type of work did your mother do?
My mother worked several jobs. She worked at Kresge's. She worked for Dr. Wright. Worked for the doctor and his family. Did the cooking. And she did stuff at home. She was a homemaker.
Okay. If she didn't drive, how did she get to all these positions, these different jobs?
Well, when Sally started driving at AT, Sally took her, and I took her most of the time.
Where did Dr. Wright live?
He lives in the exclusive residential area,
Where was that?
outside of East Falls.
So that was like very close to the actual falls itself.
Yeah, the rapids.
So
Yeah.
when you were at Dr. Wright's house, you could hear the rapid flowing
Yeah.
of the falls.
Yeah.
What type of houses were back then? Back then, what type of houses were there?
They lived in?
No, yeah, when your mother was working for Dr. Wright, what type of houses?
Did he have?
Yeah.
Well, he had all furniture, all trim was mahogany and stained. He didn't have linoleum on the floor in the kitchen. He had tile. And he had exclusive rugs in the bedrooms.
So they're big, fancy houses.
Well, they weren't fancy houses, but they're more than we had.
Okay. But you also said that you worked with your father on a big fancy house overlooking the rapids or the falls, and the gentleman asked you guys to come up for dinner. Who was that?
My father was working. No, we were putting a fruit cellar down cellar for him. And then we were finished. So come on up and have something to eat. And I said, well, no, we're all messed up with cement and everything else. Oh, come on up. You're coming on up.
Who was that now?
That was the Mr. Wright.
Okay. And then what about when you're working for the funeral home, plowing, Mr. Spolino asked you to come in for a big...
Yeah, I had a big napkin and I could smell the spaghetti. It opened the door. I said, no, I gotta go. Come on in, John. We got some good spaghetti here. That was 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. What time was it?
10.
And they're eating spaghetti already?
They're eating spaghetti already, yeah.
Wasn't he a real big guy?
Yeah, he was a big guy. But he wasn't fat, but he's big.
And he had a lot of funeral homes there.
Yeah.
And did he work with Magadino Funeral Home? Did you work for Magadino?
I think he worked privately.
Okay. Did you work for Magadino plowing?
Plowing, I plowed all of them, yeah.
You plow for Magadino
Well,
Funeral?
see, now, before that, they had the seats at home that they finally got through a home.
Yeah. But you plowed for all the funeral homes.
Yeah.
And didn't you also plow for Pete and Buck, their car washes and apartments?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And didn't you have at one of his apartments, you had a problem with something breaking on your truck? Did you say you got close to the edge where the water was?
No, I was in four-wheel drive and it was icy. It was out of the parking lot. It was winter time and there was ice on the road. And I was plowing around it on a big parking lot there. And when I made it to turn, I was still in four-wheel drive on ice. It was worse than the other way.
Yeah.
So I started to slide. And I thought I was going to go into the river.
Oh, Lord. Didn't you say you had to repair some of these trucks yourself?
What?
Didn't you say you had to repair some of these trucks?
Well, I had to turn the wheels to make a four-wheel drive.
Oh, okay.
Now they just switch on the dashboard. You got to go and turn the wheels.
I thought you said you had to get under one of the trucks on some type of lift and you had to repair something yourself. And then it worked fine since then.
No, we were plowing and we lost the four-wheel.
Okay.
So we took it to JK's garage Sunday morning, and we didn't even put it on the lift. I wouldn't dare put it on the lift. And we were trying to fix the four-wheel drive, see what was wrong with it. He comes in, what are you guys doing? Get the hell out of here. This is no place to open. Get the hell out of here. So we put it all together, that thing ran the rest of the time.
What did you have to do to put it together?
Had the little sprigs and sprockets.
And you did it right then and there?
Yeah, I never did it before.
You never had a problem since then?
We didn't even know what the hell we were doing. We just put it together, that was it.
You got lucky.
And we used it right along.
You got lucky.
7 minutes.
How did you engage that four-wheel drive? You were telling me something I didn't understand.
You got to go outside and turn the wheels.
Okay.
Now they do it on the dashboard.
Okay. So if it's a big snowstorm, you got to go outside.
Well, I was used to it.
And what type of plow did you have?
Myers.
Where's that plow today?
Oh, Lord knows. Lord knows.
It was a big yellow plow, heavy duty.
Yeah. And then it angled and everything.
Did you have to repair that?
I had one spring go, and I took it down to the place out in Hyson, the place where they were selling them, and he fixed it. Yeah.
I know that you said you plowed all the alleys for free. Were all the neighbors very appreciative?
Well, I used to get up 5 o'clock and follow the alley, go all the way around the street. And then by noon, that alley was completely dry.
Yeah. The neighbors must have really
There was no rust in the alley when you drive with the snow and it freezes up.
The neighbors must have really appreciated it.
Yeah, Master gave me $5.
Okay, all right. Wow, that's amazing. Didn't you say, I know you had a lot of cars, but didn't you say when you were working at the laundromat that you looked out and your Volkswagen was going down the road by itself?
Yeah, well, the started the motor up and put it in the middle of the street, and they had it taped off.
And what did the police say?
Well, the police said, what the hell are you doing with the damn car in the middle of the street? I said, I thought somebody stole it when I looked out. I was working in the store. I looked out, where the hell's the damn car?
Was the laundromat in a very nice area?
Well, it was an area where people didn't have wash machines.
But
they were very nice people.
Hard-working people.
Very nice people, yes. Very nice people.
Hard-working people.
Yeah. Very conscientious.
Yeah. And you had a fire department across the street, which was helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
As I told you last week, I was reading to you that in New York City, 45 self-serve laundromats are going to shut down because they're getting broken into every
Oh
night.
yeah, they pulled coin changer up the wall. I just got out of there in time.
You got out of there in time before everything
See, when
turned.
they shut me down, because they put a convention center and they wanted to move me up someplace, I said, no, I'm out, because it's changed.
People were changing,
Yeah,
getting more harsh,
yeah,
becoming a lot more criminals coming out
yeah.
of the
I used to
woodwork.
send Delphi down there at 10 o'clock in the morning to check everything out, and she'd stay there half an hour and come home. I couldn't do that today.
Did your wife do a good job at the laundromat?
She didn't do nothing.
I thought you said you sent her down there.
Sent her down just to talk to the people, see what's going on. But she wouldn't clean the soap dishes or nothing. She never, well, she wouldn't mop or she wouldn't do nothing, no. I don't blame her.
Okay, I understand, yeah. And how many washers and dryers did you have?
I had 26 washers, 10 dryers, and a big boiler in the back room.
How big was the boiler?
150 gallons
Was
for the
that
hot
enough?
water, for the hot water.
Was that
yeah.
enough to service the place?
Yeah.
Did your brothers ever work there with you?
Who?
Your brothers?
No, they never came in. And then when we get home, we never talk. If I come home late for Christmas or something, they would say, well, you just got to house everything. And they never talked about it, so I didn't talk about it the whole of it.
I thought at one
And they see
time,
me at work, I said, well, I work here.
I thought one time you hired a guy named Clyde Coots.
Yeah, which was a mistake.
Why?
I did, well, I knew him at work.
Oh, so he worked at Kimberly.
Yeah, he was a
Oh.
core cutter there.
Yeah.
And I knew him, he was, actually, I hired him for $25 a week to help me at the laundromat, but when I had problems, he never called up, I called him, he never showed up.
I'll be. So basically, the laundromat ran smooth from to the beginning to the time you closed it.
Yeah,
It was smooth as silk,
yeah.
and you made a lot of good money. What did you do with all that change? Did you put it in like a big box or something and bring
Right.
it out? All that change, how did you handle counting all that change from the laundromats?
Well, put it in rollers.
You roll right at the laundromat?
No, I take a hole in the basement, they got the roller, you just inflate the roller and put the money in it. Slide it,
Okay.
it's like a tube,
So you made a designated area to count your money.
yeah.
That must have been a big job every day.
No, I didn't count it, I counted Thursday only.
And so, what did you roll them in $10 quarter rolls?
The what?
Did you roll them in $10 quarter rolls? Is that what it was?
With quarters and dimes.
And then after you got them rolled, did you take them to the bank right away?
Well, no, Delphi would take them to the bank.
And she'd have like a big box?
No, she had a box, she had, what did she have, a little suitcase.
Oh, suitcase. And then you bring them to the bank and the bank would,
Recorded it.
oh, did you have to write your name and phone number on all the rolls?
All the rolls that had my number.
Wow. Did you have a trouble with your coin changing machine at one time?
Coin changer?
You said something about a pizza shop came in and your coin changing machines were always emptied out.
Coin changer?
Yeah, you said that a pizza parlor had games and your coins were always being emptied out, you said.
Well, then when the guy with the motorcycle was there, nothing happened with it. When he sold out, they put a pizza shop in there, and they wanted quarters and dimes for the stupid machines.
And they'd go to your laundromat and empty it
Yeah,
out.
but they couldn't take that thing off the wall. They never broke in.
But they get the change to use it for their,
They use it. Yeah, they use
so
it.
that was an inconvenience to you.
And then when the customers come in, and there's no change in
And
there,
then they couldn't do any business if there's no
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
You can't run the machine.
so they were a problem.
So if you don't have change, you can't run the machines.
Right.
How many minutes?
20 seconds.
Okay. So that is very interesting. That answered a lot of questions. That answered a lot. I hope the people that sent the text heard all this
Yeah,
and they got a good answer about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
What?
You answered a lot of questions of people that text about the laundromat and things like that.
5 seconds.
They were-
No, there were people that had washers, they were very nice. The people who lived in that house,